right. Got that started as well. Okay. This is gonna sound like super different because I'm also recording for my podcast. If you don't know, I have one. It's Aaliyah Simone with a period in between Aaliyah and Simone. But hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. And really today is just a little rant slash me doing my hair, little mini wash day routine, nothing special, just putting my hair in twist. My hair is already washed and conditioned. And if you want to know, technically, as of May 29th of 2021 is when I completely like big chopped. I went bald. I'll see if I could put a picture in here. I don't know if I even want to. I just kind of want to rant right now. But essentially, I'm just going to do my hair, do a little wash day, twist, and keep my hair in twist for a week. And then put it probably in a wig, something like that. And yeah, and if you already checked out the title of this video, you kind of know what I want to rant about. Because let's be real, people have been talking about it a lot in the media, and I feel as though it's okay to talk about things that are kind of hot topics currently. And personally for me, I kind of feel a little bit more passionate towards some of these topics because, I don't know, I'm 24, I've gone through some things. And, oh yeah, before I continue, I washed my hair with the Dove Coconut and Hydration Shampoo and Conditioner. This is the conditioner. And just gonna be doing simple liquid oil method, no cream because your girl is too cheap to be buying cream right now. But eventually I will be trying out some natural black hair care products to kind of continue growing my hair out. Yeah, for my oil, I'm using this jojoba oil. I got it at the beauty supply store, so can't even really tell you. And really I'm only using this oil because I ran out of coconut oil and I didn't feel like going to the store to go buy some coconut oil because I just wanted to wash my hair, twist it, and do what it needs to do. And then I have my liquid method or liquid mix concoction in this little spray bottle. I don't remember what conditioner's in here, but it's just conditioner and water. I'm pretty sure it's just this Dove Coconut Hydration. But we'll just be doing that. And so I guess I don't even know where I want to start because here's the thing. I want to start everywhere, but there's like so many things I want to say in each topic. So the three main topics that I'll be talking about is modern women, Lori Harvey, and Kevin Samuels. I feel like that those topics kind of have been heavily talked about these past couple of weeks, and I said why not, because I feel like I can relate to a little bit. But I guess we'll just talk about Lori Harvey first because I feel like why not? She's a queen, and don't get me wrong, she's gone through her dating traumas. Let me not call them traumas, but her dating lifestyle, and I just kind of want to speak on it just because I am in a committed relationship that's headed towards marriage, and because of that I feel as though a lot of people look up to Lori Harvey, but they're either super younger than Lori Harvey and they're getting like this, I don't know, they're getting this like step-by-step guide on how to like date and how to like treat men in a way, and basically how to get what you want. And there are people who are older than Lori Harvey who are looking at her and be like, dang, you know, she may be younger than me, but she moving a little fast and she gets what she wants. She be dating like pretty much high profile men, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the main thing I really wanted to speak about with Lori Harvey is kind of like her breakup with Michael B. Jordan. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because I did think they were a beautiful couple. I'm always love, especially black love. I think that's kind of important that we should share more. Oh, my roommate's watching a video, but I think that's important for us to kind of share more of Black love and to support it, you know. And even if the Black couple broke up, we should still support Black love out here because it exists. I promise you, it still exists. Um, and I think it's important to send the message out there that people can be treated well in their relationship. But specifically with Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan, I am just more upset that they broke up over, um, I feel like in a way what it has been said going around the reason why they broke up. Basically, Michael B. Jordan was ready to commit. Lori Harvey was like, whoa, slow down there, boy. I'm only getting started. Which, don't get me wrong, she's 25. I think that's okay. I'm 24. And I can understand how you feel like you want more. I should have gotten, hold on one second. Okay. So, the thing with Lori Harvey is that the fact that Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey broke up is basically because Michael B. Jordan basically wanted more of a long-term commitment, and we can only assume that that is marriage. He basically wanted to marry Lori Harvey, and she was like, yeah, I'm not ready. Like at all. I want to do my business. I want to do this, that, and the third, which I'm not gonna be mad at a queen who wants to get her bag or continues to get her bag. I am, however, I just can't help but think like, sis, you're 25. You're already rich. Let's be real. Don't get me wrong. I know you want to have like your own money, which is smart, especially for a young woman to have her own money, make her own money. But my big issue is that how come you as a 23-year-old woman, how come you didn't realize the fact that you were dating a man 10 years older than you may have wanted to settle down? You know what I'm saying? Somebody in their 30s is more in that headspace to settle down than someone in their mid-20s. I'm definitely not saying that someone in their mid-20s or even late teens, like 18, 19, they can't want to get married. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that because, matter of fact, I'm 24 and I'm serious about getting married and not wasting my time. I feel like both of them wasted their time. Y'all clearly didn't communicate in a way to let either one of them know where you're kind of wanting the relationship to go towards. I feel like women who are wanting long-term commitments like marriage should state at the beginning, hey, I want to get married one day. You can even put a time limit on it. Like, I would like to get married within 2 to 3 years of dating, and I definitely want to date you, the person you're talking to on a date with. I want to date you to see what you're like and to see if this could work. And once you figure that out, you kind of know where they stand, and I feel like you won't waste your time. If you happen to find someone who is not into getting married and you are in that headspace of you want to get married, that should be one of the first topics y'all talk about. Like kids, marriage, sex as well. Are you trying to stay abstinent or celibate during the relationship? And some people need to just be clear and honest about that. This is a little bit too much hair. Is it? Yeah, it is. I think y'all should be like a little bit more honest about that in regards of what you want. Don't be out here wasting your time and figuring out a year and a half later that the person you're in a relationship doesn't want to marry you. I think it's kind of weird to not know if your partner wants to get married or you don't even know their views on marriage, and you're in that headspace of you want to get married, yet you're not talking about how much it is a priority to get married, which kind of does bother me in a sense, because I think marriage is such a big step. It's such a commonly known big step to where you should kind of figure out if not only if you want to get married, but do you want to get married to them, that person you're dating, your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Like, do you want to get married? Like, that's a big adult question that I feel like while you're dating the person and collecting data about that person, you should figure out if you want to marry them. And that's really the whole reason I believe that dating exists in the first place. And so why are you wasting your time by not talking about those things? Those are like big ultimatum type uh, questions that needs answers. And if you're not familiar with the ultimatum show, that's essentially kind of like what it's about, where it's like one party wants to get married, the other party is either unclear or unsure, or maybe is not interested in getting married, maybe not to that person, or maybe just not getting interested in married at all. And so my thing is this, like, and don't get me wrong, people can break up, and that's kind of essentially what the ultimatum is about. You either get married or you break up, which essentially kind of happens with all relationships. However, if you're not stating all your intentions or what you want in the beginning, and you date them, and let's just say you fall in attraction to them, maybe you fall in love with them, and now they have this super opposing view on a super important subject of the matter, where it basically talks about the future of your relationship. And I feel as though they really missed that mark. And that relationship, what was it, a year and a half long? That relationship should have been max 3 months, maximum 90 days. Like, honey, you're the daughter of Steve Harvey. 90 days. But I can understand a woman of her age, really up at her age, can get kind of carried away with career, money, status, social status as well. A lot of women my age really kind of think about that a lot, to the point where I feel like they're not prioritizing relationships, and kind of makes me upset. It makes me upset because I feel like a lot of time is wasted when it doesn't have to be. So it's almost like, why are you intentionally wasting your time? Can I ask you that? Why are you intentionally wasting your time? I just have to ask that, because me personally, I like to do a lot of things with my time. I love my boyfriend a lot, with all my heart. But even with him, we both came to an understanding of what we want out of this relationship, or at least towards the end of the relationship. Not the end of the relationship, let me not say that. Where we see the relationship going, let me say that. We both saw marriage as like the end goal for our relationship. So if that's not on your mind and you're just into dating, then just say that. If you are saying, hey, I know you're older than me, but and I know you're in the headspace of marriage, but I have to let you know now, I'm not interested in getting married so quickly, or really like within the next 4 to 5 years. I just see myself building my brand, building my career, making money, networking, all that stuff. So it's a little kind of annoying to see that breakup, because I really did think they were a beautiful couple. Again, I support and promote Black love, Black hetero love, and because of that, I just feel that it's important to get those big questions out the way, so you're not Michael B. Jordan crying at a game, or like on the verge of tears at a basketball game or whatever game he was at, or you're not like Lori Harvey, who just deletes all her pictures of the relationship as if it never happens. And I heard she's a Venus in Capricorn. I know she is a Capricorn, but I heard her Venus is in Capricorn, which mine is as well. And so I kind of understand that move as a total, as like a whole, to where it's just like, look, if it's over, it's over. I don't need to be reminded that we were in the relationship. Like, it's over. Like, it's over. Done with. Deleted. Control Alt Delete. But in regard to that, my main question was like, well, why does she waste so much time? That's my thing. Regardless if people out here think that it was a fake arranged, almost said marriage, fake arranged couple or relationship, whatever, why would you waste that much time? Like, you could literally gotten your clout within those 3 months and dipped, if that's the case. But I don't know, that's kind of like me and like my thinking and logic towards it. So, you know, that's how I would have approached the situation. But that's just me. I'm not her. She's not me. We have two different cards that we were dealt with, that we're playing with, in this world. But I will say I am a big person on not wasting my time, but also prioritizing relationships, especially when they're headed towards marriage. And so I don't want to sit here and act like I'm just bashing Lori Harvey this whole time, and I really am not. I'm still supportive of her. I just want her to be smarter in relationships. But now that it's more commonly known that she's not ready to tie the knot, then I feel like any guy she dates from here on after should kind of be aware, like, hey, she's not trying to get hitched. She really wants to just focus on her career, and she needs to start dating men who just want to focus on their career, who aren't focused on the next step in their life, which usually is marriage. But she does date people within that industry. So it's not uncommon to find people who just want to up their social status as well as focus on the career. There's plenty of people she could date who think like that, who will still treat her right in I don't even want to call it a relationship. Just having company. You need company. That's kind of like what I feel like it is. So you're just having company, in that sense. And again, nothing's wrong with that. The only time I feel like it's wrong is when when both of the parties are not on the same page. Essentially, like, you just want to date around, but the other person wants to be in a committed relationship. Why are you holding that against them? Especially if you know that. Let's say you don't know, and then you find out and you're still in a relationship with them. That is wasting not only your time, but especially their time, which I think that's super important, because it's like, you're not on the same dating field or in the same mindset in regards of relationships. And that kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, people break up, make up, get together, divorce, marry, separate, all that stuff. And personally, I feel as though the main thing that people need to understand is communication. Like, that's the realty here. And sorry, I was trying to make sure my podcast was still on. Matter of fact, let me make sure that come on, let's change the battery so I can actually see. But my point is just that y'all need to have open communication and communicate constantly on, like, where you're at in the relationship. Are you getting bored? Do you need more fun in the relationship? Do you want to do some more things? Do you want to travel together? Do you just want to have more quality time? Would you like a gift from them? Oh, do you want to celebrate Valentine's Day this way? I feel like this all leads and ties in with communication, which people are not having, and it's so noticeable. It's so noticeable to the point where it's just like, people weren't even surprised by their breakup, but maybe they were surprised on the reasonings for their breakup. And I don't want y'all to keep going on here talking about Lori Harvey dating a father and a son. I don't think that's kind of irrelevant. I still feel as though she's trying to figure it out. And if she's in that space where she's trying to figure it out, you cannot dog a woman because she's trying to figure it out. Because eventually she'll figure it out on what she wants, what she needs especially, and how it aligns with what she wants. And so that's, all I can really say with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I can speak more on Lori Harvey because I am a young woman. And, you know, I know other young women who kind of look up to her in a certain light in regard to dating. And I kind of don't want that. Because, for one, everybody messes up. But two, I don't want the young women or the women in general to be on here and follow Lori Harvey's steps, but not have Lori Harvey's resources and wondering why they're still single and they're like 38 and childless. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to be more strategic and aware of the time that they have. And don't get me wrong, we have a lot of time on this world. But if you have certain goals, I think you should be realistic about not only those goals, but be realistic about all the other things you have to do in regard to achieve that goal, the discipline it takes to achieve that goal, and kind of go on from there. Because let's be real, people are not communicating as much these days, and hence that's kind of one of the reasons why people get divorced, because there's no communication. Granted, there's also other things, but communication is one of the leading factors. Like, how are you gonna go cheat on your wife and have sex with another woman, and you're saying, oh well, we don't have enough sex, or she's not kinky enough? And I'm thinking, like, well, did you ask your wife if you could have kinky sex? No, did you ask your wife that? No. So why are you gonna go look for it in a whole different relationship, ruin the one you are in? And you didn't even have that open communication with your wife to be like, hey, I want to be more freakier. Let's do that. Let's do that. And if it's not as freaky, let them know, like, hey, this is how freaky I want to be. And this is what I think we should kind of head towards. So that's kind of like my reasoning into it. I feel like communication is key. So hopefully y'all can like act like it. Which way do I want to do it? Let's do it this way. But yeah. In regards to Michael B. Jordan, I feel as though, dude, now you're 35, you're like 33 when you got into the relationship. And so you, as a 33-year-old man, should have some type of insight in regards of what a 23 to 25-year-old is thinking. And sometimes they might not be as marriage-minded. Granted, I'm not talking about every single 20-something-year-old, because I'm an outlier. I'm 24 and marriage is on my mind. I just feel like he didn't ask that many questions. Like, how are you gonna date a 23-year-old woman? Not only because you have an attraction towards her, she looks good, she makes you look good, but if you knew you were marriage minded, how come you didn't get that? How come you didn't get that from Lori Harvey? Like, you should have known if she was marriage minded or not. Not only by her past dating history, because let's be real, has any of her past relationships, other than, I think she was engaged or something, which is fine, but even though they called off the engagement, you still got to see if she is open to marrying you. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I like to get at, to where it's just like, again, communication. You're a 33 to 35-year-old man, and you didn't know that the girl you were dating was not really ready for marriage. She was just more okay with dating where y'all were at. So it's like, you just wasted your time. Almost 2 years, dude. You wasted almost 2 years. You're 35 now. So now let's just think about it. You got to get in a whole nother relationship, date for probably another 6 months to 2 years before you pop the question. And so now you're 37. So let's be real. You're going to be married for a little bit and then probably have kids. Or you might want kids right away because you're in your mid to late 30s. It's just like, timing wise, I feel like some people don't think about the time that they have on earth and what they want to do with that time. I feel like, it's a lot of what society wants, and you kind of do that and live like how you think society should want you to live, or how you think society, or how you think you should live based on society standard views on life itself. And it's kind of sick. It's almost like you don't have your own like 5-year, 10-year, 1-year, 6-month plan. Like, you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan. You gotta work on that. Regardless of what stage you're at, if you're 24, 14, 34, 54, you need to have a plan. Any type of plan. It doesn't have to be all about career or money or relationships, but you need to have a general plan, an idea on where you want to go, from where you're at and where you want to go. That's just kind of basics. Let's just say you're comfortable with your life right now, which is okay. But I have to ask yourself, are you 100% happy? Do you think some things could be better? If so, are there some things that you can control within that time frame to make things better? And if that's the case, then shoot, I would say go ahead, make that change. Go ahead and plan this stuff out. So that way you're not wasting your time. You're not wasting your time partying every night because you get asked to go out, or your friends ask you to go to brunch or something, even though you have your brand or maybe an idea or a book you're meaning to write or something to where you feel like you're improving your life. Are you working on it? Are you taking the time to work on it so you can have the time to go to brunch with your friends? Like, that's my thing with like having a plan. And if you are a person who wants to be in a relationship / marriage, you need to start planning that. You need to be like, all right, I'm not wasting my time with any F-boys. And because of that, I would have to say, you need to start moving and acting accordingly in regards of, you don't want any F-boys, you want to get married within 5 years. Within those 5 years, you want to, I don't know, get a promotion at work or maybe get a raise at work or something like that. Point is, have a plan, write it down, stick to it, be disciplined enough to stick to it. Don't be like, I'm not going to date no more F-boys. Almost cursed, trying not to do that. Do not date any more F-boys, right? And have meaningless sex. Okay, how come you go to the club and you just had a one-night stand? Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Didn't you just say you wanted to be in a whole committed relationship? And, oh no, where'd it go? I'll just get a new one. Didn't you say you wanted to be, oh, it's right there. Ugh. Didn't you say you wanted to be in a whole committed relationship, but you're not moving or acting accordingly? That's what upsets me and frustrates me. That's why I just be like, dude, do not come to me for dating advice. Please do not do that. Because I'm gonna tell you the real. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I'm going to be like, okay, well, first of all, I'm also going to mention God in there somewhere. But the main thing I'm going to ask you is, what do you want in a relationship? You want this, you want that, and the third. Okay, what are you doing to make sure you find a man who gives you all of those things and you're in a committed relationship? And if I hear crickets, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to just hang up the phone call. Like, no, we're not going to do that. Like, I don't like to hear a lot of stupidity a lot of the times. And I'm even starting to get older to the point where I don't like to hear people complain too much if you don't have a solution. Do not come here complaining to me if you don't have a solution, unless you're coming to like vent so I can help you come to a solution on how to make you feel better or whatnot. Because a lot of the times I'll just be like, how can we solve this? I'm a helper, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to help make things better. So don't just come to me with a problem and we just talk about the problem and we just talk about the problem and then just talk about the problem. No, we need a solution, because I don't want to hear you bitch about. See, even I'm trying to cover this up, but I don't want to hear you complain about this scenario or situationship or whatever's not working in the relationship too often, because if it's a repeated offense, I'm gonna get agitated and I'm gonna just put myself on mute and just let you rant and like go eat some Cheerios or something and like, I don't know, watch YouTube videos while you're ranting. But my thing is this, like, be strategic and smart about how you date, because you don't want to be out here like, really, let's say Michael B. Jordan. Because let's just say if the roles were reversed, what if Lori Harvey was 33, 35, and Michael B. Jordan was the 23 to 25? How terrible that would look. Like, let's be real. As a woman, to be almost in your mid to late 30s and you're still unmarried, yet you're dating and you're wanting to get married and the other person isn't serious, oh yeah, y'all would have totally twisted that whole scenario. So that's why I'm just like, people are going to do what they want to do, and that's just it. That's just life. I'm just not going to be here giving advice like that. I'm just not. But yeah. So that's all I can say about that, because I feel like I got all my talking points out on that. I guess another way is this. For Lori Harvey, I don't want anybody who is like Lori Harvey to feel like they have to rush to get in a relationship. I don't want you to ever feel like that. But as you get older, you are going to have to start thinking realistically about relationships and marriage, to the point where it's just like, okay, if I want to be in a committed relationship and I'm already 28, I probably need to stop dating guys from the club, or I probably need to start being a little more serious in how I view dating. And additionally, I probably need to start being more serious about the men I keep in my company and where I end up finding and meeting these men. Did I find them at the grocery store, the library, church? In those senses, don't get me wrong, there's still going to be bad guys out there, but the main thing is you're kind of being more wholesome about your approach, and more determined and more strategic and more disciplined and more, what's the other word, self-aware, to the point where you're actually making the necessary steps to get what you want. And that's really with about anything you do in life. You know what I'm saying? You don't eat cotton candy, Starburst, Starbucks, and Sonic hot dogs and go train for the Olympics. You're not going to be doing that. You're going to be having a strict diet, a strict routine, a strict schedule. It's, in a way, it's strict, and you got to be more strict on yourself in regards of getting the stuff you want, achieving those goals. And if that's in a relationship, you got to start moving accordingly. Which essentially kind of moves me to my next topic, which is modern women. I keep hearing that term like thrown out here, mainly from Kevin Samuels' talks, but also from other stuff. I know, mainly from other videos as well, which is not bad at all. But I just want to kind of give a brief rundown of what I feel like, my view of what the modern woman is, as well as what Kevin Samuels kind of talks about as the modern woman. And I'll get to Kevin Samuels later, because I do want to talk about him, because I have a lot to say about him, honey. So if you want to skip ahead to what I talk about with him, go ahead. But if not, just keep enjoying. And so my thing with modern women, I feel as though modern women are... they're women who want to be as equal as a man in regards of every single aspect in their life, including relationships. And I'm also going to look up the definition as well in just a second, but I think a modern woman is, she's very strong and independent. She's not looking for a man, but she wants a man, but she doesn't care to be controlled by a man. And I feel as though a modern woman definitely claims herself as a feminist, as, I guess, a womanist as well. I'm just now hearing that term womanist used around. And what else? I feel as though a modern woman would be okay with a lot of different types of relationships. Like a modern woman would be okay being a single mother dating. A modern woman would be okay being a divorcee dating. Um, hmm. A modern woman would be okay with putting her career first versus making a relationship a priority. That's kind of what I feel as though a modern woman is or is kind of associated with. And yeah, after I part my hair in this section, I'll go ahead and look up the definition of a modern woman and kind of get a sense on what Google says about modern women. And then I'll also talk about kind of what I get from Kevin Samuels on what he says is the modern woman. But again, a lot of people would kind of relate Lori Harvey as a modern woman. As I stated before, like they'll put their career first versus making a relationship a priority. Especially at the age that she's at, where she's 25, quarter century. So it's like, I'm not going to say you're at the top of your peak as a woman, but you are in part of your prime as a young woman. Because I do know women in their 40s, that's like another prime. I think that's like a sexual prime or something like that. But okay, let's look up define modern women. A modern woman is anyone who is living in the now, who questions, who asks, who challenges, who stands up for her rights and for others. That's what Google says. There's this one site that I'm not going to click on fully. They just give me a little bit of rundown. Wow, it's like how to become one. So what it reads is like 38 ways to be a modern day lady. Excuse me. These are kind of, I can understand some of them. So I'll just read a couple. One of them is excuse me, I just had a sandwich, y'all. One of it is educate yourself, be independent, be well groomed, always leave a tip, don't be a flake. Some of those kind of are a little bit, I can understand them, but some of them are not as relevant. But the two main ones that I see for modern day lady is educate yourself and be independent. Okay, and so with that, I can definitely see. I kind of want to click on it to see what are some more. Treat everyone with this respect. Think before you speak. Some of them are kind of given. Oh, one of them is don't be a tease. Travel, maintain an air of mystery. Okay, I kind of got the gist of it. So I feel like what Google said about the modern women and like how to become a modern lady is very atypical. And in regards to that, I can kind of see where that phrase has been sent into this world and how part of it has become a little negative in regards to the dating arena. And my thing on that is I see why people kind of look at the word modern woman in a negative light, because it's that be independent part. I don't think a man would want an independent woman per se. And when I say it, I mean it like this. A man's gonna still want a woman that can depend on him and wants to depend on him. It's not like, let me be careful on how I phrase this, because I already feel like some people are going to take this with every grain of salt. A modern woman, again, screams independence, fight for your rights, all that stuff. and that nature. But I feel as though where modern women, the term modern woman, gets thrown in a negative light is when they're overly independent. They're overly educated to where they think they are a little bit better than you because they're educated, they're independent, they don't need anybody else to take care of them because they know how to take care of themselves, which in a sense is fine. That's good, you can take care of yourself. But what is a man gonna do with that? Like, a man's gonna want you to want him, and if you're showing signs that you don't even need him, how can you want him if you don't need him? In regards of you needing / wanting a man in your life for a relationship. And so with modern women, I don't think I would even consider myself as a modern woman. I feel like I am traditional. If anything, I might have like liberal views, but even then, some of my liberal views are somewhat limited. Oh, that's a little too much hair for this chunk. Okay, but yeah, the thing about modern women is that overly independent. That's what I got from in regards to how Kevin Samuels has been putting out there. And I think he's right in regards to that. You don't want to be too overly independent, too okay with your womanhood to where you don't need a man in your life, but you want a man, and you're saying you want a man like this, that, and the third, where you essentially are saying you want options and stuff. So I just feel like the whole term is confusing. I feel like confused even talking about it, because the main thing that I get is, and what I understand it as, is this woman doesn't want to be ruled underneath a man. And that's literally in the Bible of what a woman's role is. It's a woman's purpose with her husband to be under him in regards of rule. The man rules over the woman. And I think that's where modern women have an issue with today. They have an issue with having a man rule over them because they're so overly independent. They're so overly assured in themselves. They're so overly educated. What do I need a man for? To what? Educate me? What? To rule over me? What? To pay the bills? What? To bring home the bacon? Like, I could do that by myself. What do I need a man to do it for? And in that sense, that's how I feel a modern woman thinks. And it's really like a no wonder why you're single. You won't even allow a man to take care of you. You won't even allow someone to take care of you, which is kind of weird. I feel like as a woman, you don't want to be taken care of. That's a little sketch to me. And you want to be in a relationship? You're very sus right now. And confusing and contradicting as a woman. Like, literally, the first few chapters of Genesis. Actually, I think it's Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 1. And the later verses where they kind of talk about the downfall of men. I might be getting wrong with my chapters in Genesis, but I know it's in the book of Genesis where it states not only do women have the pain of childbearing, but they love their husbands essentially, and they are ruled. The husband will rule over them. And used the wrong. What are these called? I don't know. Hair tie thing. They have an issue with being ruled over. They have an issue with the man ruling them, which I have to say, at some point, somebody's going to have to be the head of household. And the fact that you're the woman and you want to be like this superwoman who has babies, has the job, has the career, has this life, is independent, and you want a husband, girl, you're doing too much. Slow down. Stop all that. Let a man take care of you, and you only deal with, especially if you want kids, you only deal with not only birthing the children, but raising the children as well. Obviously, your husband would help, but you would take more of that parental, motherly role as the caretaker, and I don't see anything wrong with that. If anything, stay-at-home moms, that's a whole job. That's a whole job. Not only making sure you keep a child alive every day, because kids get into crazy stuff just randomly and by themselves, but making sure that you are fully creating a full functioning citizen by the time they reach of age of maturity, mentally and physically. So like those ages 18 to 26, I believe, are so crucial in regards of a child really growing up into a young adult. Can they make decisions to where it would better themselves as well as better the community and the world around us? That's essential. That's a very specific, hardworking type of job. And the fact that you as a woman, I'm not saying you don't want to do that, or that you might be in a circumstance where you can't really do it all like that. You do need some help. And I'm not saying that's bad. All I'm saying is if you finally realize that your career is not going to make you eternally happy in regards of that family, having people in your corner, having a family, having future generations, making a legacy, that stuff, then it's just like, just be single and celibate. Be single and celibate and walk with God, and that's it. Don't be out here complaining about a relationship, why you can't get a man or keep a man, and still claim you want independence. That's not how it works, boo-boo. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. You don't, as a woman, you don't need to be right all the time, or you don't have to be right all the time. And the fact that you feel the need that you have to be right, or your way is the only way, or your way is the right way, it's kind of concerning. It kind of shows that you can't really work in a team. You don't know how to work in a team to create something that is everlasting in this world. Because really creating a legacy is one of the most everlasting things in the world. Besides, at least at this point in time, content, pictures, projects like arts, music, dance. It's just it's a little concerning for people that I know, especially women, regardless of their age, who are single. It's a little concerning because I feel like they don't see it. And I'm not one to say, oh, I'm in a relationship and you're not. No. I made sure I took the necessary precautions because I was in such a bad relationship before. I said, God, I'm literally following you and only you. And if you want me to be in a relationship, as well as he's God-fearing, all that stuff, right? I had a list, essentially. And it wasn't no huge list, right? But one of my main things on there is that he has to be God-fearing. And if it ain't kingdom, I don't want it. So, that's quoted by Redefined TV. But if it ain't kingdom, I don't want it. And so if the next man I date does not follow the kingdom, because really that's kind of what my list was gearing towards. Like, it was mainly biblical, to where it's like, I want a relationship that is everlasting. I want a godly marriage one day, and that means I need to start making sure I date godly men, right? And not just want to be godly men who actually are followers of Jesus Christ, who serve, who have ambition. Just, it's a lot of things. I don't really want to go over my list right now, just because I already have a man, and this man will literally be my husband. And the reason why I know I can say that's because we've had several conversations, not only about God, but what we want in a relationship, what we want in a marriage. We're not confused about it, though. That's the main thing. There's no confusion in our relationships. We know exactly what it is and where it's going. It's headed towards marriage. We both know that. We both know that. That's for one. That's really what we both want. And so, I think it's because it's like I decided, Big Sean, I decided that I wanted to date with a purpose, date intentionally to marry. So that means I cannot be on Tinder scrolling, trying to look for my next hookup. No, that's not how we roll. That means we're not going to have meaningless sex. No, we celibate. and we're celibate in the relationship. We're not just going to be celibate until we find a guy. No, we're celibate until we're married. We're celibate until we're married. When we finna move like that. And a lot of you may be surprised and shocked about that just because it's like, oh, I can never do that. But guess what? When you do that, you don't waste time. You don't get so caught up in the moment, so caught up in the person as well, that you're blinded by his parts. And you didn't realize he was just a terrible person in general. You didn't realize that. I feel like that's something you would realize by the first through third date. But because you had sex and introduced that into your relationship, you're kind of little matized. I didn't want to say the word, but the lady part's matized. The man part's matized. You know what I'm saying? You're hypnotized by sex. It's literally put you under a trance and it's blinded you. And now you got these sex goggles on, these sex glasses on, that won't allow you to actually see who you're dating, who the person is you're dating. And then you supposedly get caught up in love and then bad things start to happen. You know why? Because y'all didn't have that communication. Y'all didn't have your standards stated at the beginning. Like, hey, I'm dating to marry. I'm not interested in having sex until I'm married. I do like to date and I do like to be treated like a queen should be treated, as I like to treat my king. So come correct. Essentially. Come correct or get left. Like, that's really it. It's really it. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Because, again, you're wasting your time. As a matter of fact, as a modern woman, I feel like these men out here are wasting their time because they're dating modern women. You're dating women who are so career focused. They're not concerned about kids, having kids, when they're going to have kids, getting married, when they want to get married. It's just awful. It's just awful. And I'm just like not here for it. I kind of want to be like, bro, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time? It's like, bro, get out. She too independent for you. She don't need no man. Leave. Get out now. And then I don't want to bash any independent women on here, because guess what? I pay my own bills. I pay my own car note. I'm in a relationship still, and that's because I still give my man not only that time, but I allow him to, in a way, not rule over me like he's my husband, because he's not my husband yet. He does not get that privilege. And I'm not saying you can't make your money. Obviously, you got to pay your own bills, right? Right. So that still means you go to work, right? But that still means you date with intention. You date with the intention to marry. To let the man know, hey, I know I'm working hard right now, but I want a kingdom marriage. I want to be able to, when we're married and we have kids, I want to be able to provide for them as a mother should. And I want you as the father to provide for the family as a father and a man should for his family. If I'm the mother, my main focus is making sure that these babies are essentially taken care of. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I don't want to put them in daycare. I don't. I want to make sure, and this is me personally, I don't want to put my future kids in daycare because to a certain extent, I don't trust it. And if my future husband, let me not say future husband, if my husband and I are in a stable environment financially to where I can stay at home the first couple of years of the kids' lives so they can develop, and by the time they're able to go to school, that's when I start going back to my career. Because I feel like at the end of the day, as a woman, why are you so interested in furthering your career so fast? But then you can ask the question, why are you so focused on getting relationships so fast? Well, the thing is, you can always have a career. You may not always be able to have a family, especially a happy family, happy home, happy spouse, happy house type of relationship, because it gets harder it gets harder to date as you get older. It does not get harder to get a career in anything. You can literally switch careers. Like your 20th year of being in the first career, you can switch careers and still go to a new path, still have time to go excel in that career. Like, ladies, what do you need to excel in your career so much for? This is the time to date, to collect data, to find what type of man you're interested in, what type of man you want to provide for you. And some people are just wasting their time, and I'm just like, better you than me, because I can't even, I would hate to waste a year and a half. And to be honest, in the past, I think I wasted the maximum time was 11 months. And I'm actually mad. It should have been 1 month type of thing. And I think I've now reached an age of maturity to where it's just like, because I'm in a committed relationship that's headed towards marriage, the older that him and I get, and let's just say our friends who are still single, or people we know who are still single, who are looking at us and being like, wow, they're still together. Wow, they're married and still together, happy with a family. It's just like, yeah, because we decided to take this seriously. We decided to take dating seriously. And we knew each other. We were each other's, like, match, essentially. So, y'all need to, again, it's not confusing. It's not confusing. It's not confusing. It's not Confucianism. Like, it's not. And so, this is also more of like a low-key diary part, to where I say in 5 to 10 years, when him and I are married and we have our family, we have our kids, we're financially stable, we have this, that, and the third, and then people are looking at us into our relationship, I'm just gonna be like, yo, I done said it. It was nothing new that I done said. It was nothing new that I done said. Y'all just so focused on this modern woman. Modern woman. It just makes no sense. I want to be independent. Okay, Patricia, do you want to be in a relationship? Because you're not really making a priority of that. You're making your independence a priority. You're making your career a priority. Shoot, you might even be making your body a priority in regards of being physically fit, which I do like. You do need to attract a man, but you're not making dating seriously a priority. And you're wondering why you still mess with F-boys. It's like, the fact that you don't see where the logic doesn't make sense kind of irritates me. But again, you do you, boo. I just know that's not how I'm going to move. And yeah, you do you. The fact that you feel the need that you don't have to cater to a man because you're a modern woman and you're the prize and he has to go get you. Okay, you do have to treat your partner with respect and cater to them as well as you want them to cater to you. It's not a one-way street. It's definitely a two-way street. So I would assume the way you love them, they should also love you. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to, as the man, to expect something out of you as well as you expect something out of them. So it's modern woman where it's a little annoying to the point where I'm like, bro, why does this even exist? I understand, like, contemporary. You know, I can understand a contemporary whatever view, because of the world we live in. But the way that you say modern, I think it just goes back to, oh yeah, we mentioned feminist and womanist. I'm going to go ahead and look up the definition of womanist. But in regards to feminist, okay, equal rights as of men. Okay. You're focused on having equal rights as a man, but you're not focusing more on birth rights as like childbearing rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're more focused on having equal rights just as a man does, but you know men can't physically have kids. Especially if they're born a male. I'm talking about natural born men cannot have kids in regards to them birthing it. They cannot birth kids. women, you birth kids, but you're not focused on more rights in regards of birthing kids, but you're more focused on having equal rights as kids, like equal pay. And don't get me wrong, that's fine, but you're more focused on the masculine parts in regards of being equal to a man, like getting treated the same. I'm trying to even remember, like, what are some unequal views that I guess women felt like they didn't have the right to. Okay, one of them was voting. Women couldn't vote, right? So they were like, we want equal rights. We want to be able to vote. Okay, y'all get to vote. Okay, y'all get to vote now. Are you happy? No, we want more equal rights. Okay, what else? Because I'm literally trying to think. Pay, equal pay. And this is kind of a sidebar note too, because I was just in the position where I was able to ask for a raise / salary and like negotiate a salary, whatever. Did you as the woman ask for more money, or did you just find out you're getting paid less than a man for the same work? And like, what did you do about it in that sense? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel as though if you're wanting to get paid the same as a man, are you offering the same thing that that man is offering? Or do you feel like you're not being offered that because you're being overshadowed? Like, if you feel like you're being overshadowed because you're a woman and you're not a man, what are you doing to speak up other than saying, we need to get equal pay? Okay, well, there's some people who get paid to do, some people who have the same position and they get paid the same, but they do different tasks. Some kind of seem a little bit more important than other tasks. And so, are you going to get mad because you're doing more tasks than the next person, but you're getting paid the same? Isn't that an argument of equal pay? And it's not the fact that you're a woman. It's the fact that you feel like you have more job responsibilities, and you're getting paid the same as somebody who doesn't. They're supposed to have the same job responsibilities, but they don't do the same thing. Isn't that a statement for like equal pay? So it's not really up to the woman. Woman being paid less, you're getting paid the same, but you feel like you're taking on more work. And so then another question I would have to ask, are you willingly taking on more work without that pay? And if you are, have you made a meeting with that supervisor or boss to be like, hey, I'm doing this, that, and the third. I see my value in myself and in the company, and I see where it's headed towards. Is there a way we can bridge this financial gap that I've noticed amongst my coworkers? Like, let's be real. Okay, so I wanted to look up the definition of define womanist / womanism. So womanism is a form of feminism that emphasizes women's natural contribution to society, used by some in distinction to the term feminism and its association with white women. Ugh. Well, thank you, Google, for the lovely definition. Okay, so the thing that stood out to me was, I'm so upset. I said do not disturb. I'm sorry to my podcasters that this is going to be a 2-part podcast because my alarm just came off on my phone, so I feel so bad to my podcasters. But again, this video will be on YouTube, so you can check out what I do with my hair, because I am like about halfway-ish done. We'll just say rant 1, because I think I can change it. Rant part 1. So I'll know. I feel like I was just getting good too. Publish. I'm just going to label this part 1 for right now. And then I will update the numbers threw me off, but I'll update the podcast so it's labeled correctly, so y'all know what I'm talking about. Because I haven't even talked about Kevin Samuels yet. So, oops, no, I think that's published now. So let me restart this podcast over because, again, my alarm went off. So sorry about that. Essentially, where I left off was defining what the definition of womanist is. I researched on Google what the definition was and kind of got a general sense of what it means. It kind of makes a little bit more sense now, but I wanted to mention something that stood out to me where it said womanism, a form of feminism that emphasizes women's natural contribution to society. Okay, natural contribution to society. I feel like that can mean a lot of things, because if you're talking about a woman, we aren't as strong as a man. Men just physically are stronger than women. That's just it. I'm not saying a woman can't be just as strong as a man, but physically men are just more stronger than women. So natural contribution to society in regards of physical strength, I wouldn't say that women have that natural contribution. So I think the next thing I low-key want to look up is defining natural contribution, but this is not the time to be looking up stuff because I still gotta finish my hair. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about that with the whole womanism, feminism, modern woman. What is a woman's natural contribution to society? What does a woman naturally do and naturally offer? Well, usually women can usually a woman is a helpmeet to a man, so they are the helpers. So women are natural helpers. So that's definitely a contribution to society. I would definitely say so. Childbirth. I'm not saying every single woman has the ability to do that, as they can be a helpmeet, but childbirth is another natural contribution to society. I'm laughing because it's kind of like I'm already sensing in my mind like this is stupid, but a woman's natural contribution to society would be to give life. They are essentially the vessel for the child to grow and develop inside the woman's womb and to be birthed, essentially, and be an actual living being. That is a woman's natural contribution to society. I can definitely see that. So because that's at least two things that I can think about right now, I kind of want to talk about the childbearing topic being a natural contribution. Again, I mentioned it earlier. Why, as women, are we focused more on equal pay than we are focused on rights and our rights when having children and rights with birth? Natural contribution to society, women birthing children, like nobody would be here without a woman. Let's be real. Without a woman, nobody would be here. That's a natural contribution. That's a natural way of life. So why aren't there more rights towards births, towards getting pregnant, towards potentially not getting pregnant? Like, why aren't there more rights, information, education in regards of that natural contribution to society? Why are we not teaching more young women to where if we're going to be a natural contribution to society, we should have more knowledge of our bodies, because essentially our bodies is a natural contribution to society. Why aren't there more rights in that? You're talking about abortion rights, right? Okay. I am pro-choice, however, I'm pro-free will. So I'm more about, you shouldn't really even be having you really shouldn't even be having sex unless you're married in the first place. And so unprotected sex, why are you having unprotected sex when you're not married? If you're not married, you shouldn't even be having sex at all. But let's just say you are, and you get pregnant, and now you just became a super natural, you just became one of the main natural contributions to society because you're a pregnant woman. So how come there aren't more rights when you're pregnant versus when you're not pregnant, or versus when you're trying to get pregnant? There needs to be more rights in that sense. That's where I can say womanism would make a difference. But even with feminism, that's not what it preaches. It just preaches about voting and equal pay, which, let's see if equal pay is a thing. Do women still not get equal pay? All right, I should have said, is equal pay, is equal pay still a problem? How about that? This was May 25th, 2021. This is technically on Forbes, and the title of the article is "The Gender Pay Gap, Why It's Still Here." And what I'm reading essentially is, I'm not even clicking on the website. I'm just literally reading what the main thing is, the main sentence. And May 25th, 2021, mind you, this is June 17th, 2022, it says, over the past few decades, this gender pay gap has been narrowing. So if this gender gap has been narrowing, why do we still have women out here focusing on equal pay if it's narrowing? And if you're like concerned that it's still not where it needs to be, why aren't y'all focusing on other sectors in regards of our natural contribution to society, like when we're pregnant versus when we're not pregnant, versus when we're trying to get pregnant, versus where maybe some people don't want to be pregnant and they got pregnant? Like, there's still so many things up in the air with that. And now that abortion is federally illegal, now y'all have a problem. Were y'all really like fighting for your natural contribution to society? I don't think you should call yourself a feminist if you're not a womanist. And because you're feminism focusing more on equal rights just as a man, that's letting me know that you're not focusing on your rights as a woman in general. And I think that's where the womanism term comes from. You're literally focusing on your natural contribution to society as a woman. Natural, like it's natural. So I don't know. I feel like modern women missed the mark and will forever to miss the mark. I'm not going to say traditional is where it's at, but I find it to be working in my favor in regards of how I've lived my life. That's just me personally. And yeah, I just don't get the term modern woman. And then feminist woman, I think it's just all silly to me. It's all just silly. All of it's just silly. Why are y'all so silly? Wow, this is not a good part. I don't even care about parting my hair like this. It's like not even important, because it's just gonna be under like a do-rag or a bandana anyway. Oh, I forgot to do this one. It's okay, I'll do that later. Oy, the man. But hey, if you want to be a modern woman, go ahead, girl. You do you. Let me know if that still works within the next 10 years. From my age group, when we're in our 30s, let me know if that still works. Oh yeah, I guess I can do this one. Let me do this one real quick. My hair is already getting tight because my hair is super thick. Look at this I look so cute. This reminds me of a little style I had when I was a kid. But yeah, I feel like y'all kind of want me to move on now, because this is where we're going to talk about Kevin Samuels. I'm actually really excited to talk about Kevin Samuels. So the first time I even really kind of knew Kevin Samuels was like a thing, a name, a person, was actually when he did an interview with Nicki Minaj. And I watched the whole interview. I thought it was very entertaining. Thought it was light and funny, and I was kind of getting a sense of like what he was about. Even at that moment, I didn't watch his videos like that. But based on the interview with Nicki Minaj, it was it made me kind of like him, in the sense of, okay, I see what his line of work is. I see what his line of work is, and I see why it's been doing so well based on the amount of YouTube subscribers. And unfortunately, he did pass away, but even now, he has 1.49 million subscribers. And so, kind of towards his death, I ended up watching more of Kevin Samuels' videos just to really get a feel for him, because it's like, why are we let me say this. Why were some women, especially black women, so disrespectful towards a man's death? I never disrespect the dead. I don't care who died. Never disrespect the dead. If anything, they're already dead. That's the last thing you could do. That's literally the last final hoopla at the end of the day. That someone could do in this life, in our lives. Death is natural. So the fact that you're praising someone who's dead, regardless of what they did, kind of makes me curious as to like, dang, well, what did he do? First of all, what did he do to you for you to feel so negative? And well, really, for you to feel so happy that he's dead. I think that's evil. I think that's so evil. Even if that person was genuinely evil and they died, I don't think you should gloat about death. Who are you to gloat about death? Because one day you're going to die as well. So that's rude. And that's too much bad juju vibes for me. But my main thing with Kevin Samuels is this. He's brutally honest. And I love it. Here's why. So I like when people are honest about themselves. And this is another word I've used a lot in this video today. I like it when people are self-aware and they have awareness, just in general. Oh my gosh, y'all, my hair is so thick. Look at this. Oh, this is just one section, like, so thick. He's brutally honest. And I feel like I've been watching Kevin Samuels enough to say, or to understand the reason why some women find him offensive. And the reason why I understand is because these women aren't true to themselves. And so whenever they're going to get approached, or whenever they ask for advice, or maybe even state their opinion, regardless if it's wrong or right, they don't tend to care about a person whose delivery is brutally honest to the point where you find it disrespectful. But I feel like at the end of the day, if you're honest with yourself, with the situation, you can't be mad at the truth. Especially if you're mad about the delivery. I feel like you shouldn't be mad about the delivery. You should be more, not even upset about the truth, but you should be aware of the truth. Like, you really should. So it's kind of disheartening how many women on his channel, or who were on his lives, his channels, and doing interviews with him, how some of them would kind of go against what he was thinking. But then here's the thing, they're usually single, or they're usually having questions and doubts about having good men in this world today. And I'm gonna tell you this, there's plenty of good men out there. I just don't think that some women, some modern women, have these good men on their radar because of some of their expectations or their own independent lifestyles, to where they really notice that there are good men around here, and they don't really take dating seriously to understand that they are here, that they want to get married, they want to settle down. Like, that's the thing. And so Kevin Samuels is an image consultant, and I believe he's done men as well, has had men clients, and I think more recently it's been more female clients. And how do I put this? I feel as though his female clients, regardless if they were clients or they were just viewers of the show to where they wanted to give it input, I don't think some of these women were honest with themselves. And you can just hear it in every single video he has where a woman disagrees with him. And I have to be honest, how are you going to disagree with a man who, regardless if he's been divorced twice, he understands relationships, image, and also understands how not only can you attract a man, but how to keep a man in a long-term relationship, marriage, commitment. You're literally arguing. It's like you wanting to know more about God, but you're arguing with the preacher who's literally been in his own trial and tribulations, as well as studied the Bible. So it's kind of like, why are you shooting the messenger or being mad at the messenger? Why are you disrespecting the teacher when you're the student? You know what I'm saying? It's giving illogical. So in regards of that, I just think Kevin Samuels was right. And I think some of these women are delusional, and not the good delusional, as that trend has been going around. They're not the good delusional, to where things kind of just work out. They're the bad delusional, where they think it's their way and this is how they're going to get it and this is how it's going to happen. And they notice that they're 38 and they've been doing it that way and they're still single and they don't know why. And they just think that there's no good at men out here, or they get used by some men. And it's just like, no. Physical health is important in general, but you do know men, and he's a man coming from a male perspective, you do know men find certain physiques attractive, and majority of men find certain sets of physiques more attractive than others. So tell me this, why are you getting mad when he calls you out, basically insinuating that you don't have good physical health? Why would a man be attracted to somebody who doesn't take care of themselves physically? Same thing for mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Some men are not attracted to women who don't take care of themselves in different areas than others, but there's still men who be on the lookout for that. So why are you getting mad about that? Why are you, as a woman, getting mad when you're so independent, you're so happily single, but you can't find a good man to settle down with? Well, maybe it's because I'm intimidating or something. And it's just like, I don't think that is a good reason for you to say that you're single. If you feel or find yourself intimidating men, I would have to ask you to ask yourself, how feminine are you? Or how do you make femininity a priority in regards of you approaching relationships, approaching dating? And if you kind of give me this stare, it's kind of telling that you're a little bit more masculine than some women out here who exudes more femininity. Because you can have a high-paying job out here and still attract a man. That's where I feel like, I wouldn't say Kevin Samuels and I disagree on having a high-paying job, because I actually agree with him how women who are like, let's just say women who who make six figures, there's a reason why they can't attract men who also make six figures. And again, I'm still learning that part. But the main thing I got from it is the fact that you think you're so independent that you don't need a man to take care of you. Because you have a doctorate degree. Because you have a master's degree. Because you make six figures. What man is attracted to a woman who exudes masculinity? Like, I feel like that exudes masculinity if you're just talking about how much money you make, or the fact that you do make a lot of money, the fact that you can take care of yourself based on your job, high profile job. And it's just like, I don't think any man would not want their woman to not make money, or I just don't think they care. They just don't care. They were taught, and they were, not only society, but biblically, they're taught to be the providers. And finances is one of the things that men would have to provide, not only for themselves, but for their family, if they do want one, for their wife, if they do want one. And so the fact that you're stating that you make all this money and you don't need a man because you're independent lets them know, well, okay, well, she clearly doesn't want me. She can take care of herself. I'm going to go find a woman who appreciates the fact that I make six figures and that I want to take care of my family, and I may not want her to do all this extra stuff because I'm taking care of her. Or maybe I do want her to work, but I don't care for her to be the CEO of her own company like that, because that'll probably take time away from the family, the kids, and all of that. I'd rather us be the family. And I think that's so simple to understand. But I think, again, it goes back to the Bible, to where some women don't want to be under a man. They don't want to be controlled by a man. And they feel as though that a man will completely control them. Like, you got to eat this. You got to wear that. You got to look like this. And it's just like, I think y'all are kind of being a little extreme about it at that point, to where it's just like, you think that a man controlling you means you have no authority, you have no freedom and independence that you so crave. And I feel like if you want freedom and independence, just stay single. Don't complain or whine about not being in a relationship. I just think that's stupid, because you do realize you're the woman. The man cannot birth children. They cannot. And no matter how you tell me, oh, transgender and surgery, all that stuff, a man cannot naturally birth children. And the fact of the matter is, you're so focused out here trying to make sure you get equal pay. You're not even focusing on the fact that you'd have no rights to your body. Let's be real. Regardless if you're pregnant or not, you don't really have that many rights to your body. You just don't. And but you're more concerned about working in the military with a man. You're more concerned about getting paid as a man, just as a man. See, at the time, back in the day, they didn't care about paying women, because it's like, y'all were at home. We were at home. Making babies. Well, not making babies. Hopefully you're not at home making babies without your husband. Uh-oh. But, yeah, you're not, you weren't supposed to work. Your work was to take care of the children, take care of the home, take care of your husband, be the helper. That was already a job in itself. So I don't know why y'all feminism, womanism women were so concerned about wanting to go to work like that. Like, because now you got to pay bills. Now we live in a society, modern women, where you technically do have to pay your bills yourself. If you're not in a relationship, if you're single, you do got to still pay the bills. So it's just like, why'd y'all want this? Yet y'all are still here complaining about relationships not being with a man. Maybe that man don't want to be with you because he don't think he can give you anything that you can't give yourself. So it's just like, I mean, if she can look at it herself, it's like, what does she need me for? Oh, time, affection. Okay, but I need to be the provider. I need to take care of my family. I need a woman who wants to take care of the kids. How are we going to take care of the kids if you're out here working like that? Oh, daycare and stuff. And then it's like, oh, a nanny. And then it's just like, why do you want kids if you want that? Because you're so focused on your career. I don't know anybody who says on their deathbed, man, I wish I would have worked more. I don't know anybody who says that. And if you do, I'm kind of like as a woman, I'm kind of just like, really? You wish you would have worked more? Really? That's interesting. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the time and it's taking me forever to do my hair, but honestly, my hair is getting longer and it's just super thick. So, it makes sense. But yeah, I just never even knew. I never even knew that was a thing. And so I feel like Kevin Samuels, he will literally tell you clear cut straight. You're fat. You're not as attractive. You're an adjustable 6. What else? Nobody cares if you make 6 figures. Nobody cares if you have a doctorate degree. You're a woman. Don't get me wrong, that's great. It shows discipline. That you have your doctoral degree or your master's degree, or it shows you have good work ethic for your job. You're making 6 figures and stuff like that. But as a wife, what can you do? Do you have those like feminine skills a wife should have? No, you're just showing all these masculine skills, masculine traits. That's not attractive to a masculine male. He wants a feminine male. A feminine woman. Let me not get that mixed up. But he wants a feminine woman to match his masculine man energy. But all you are as a woman is bringing all this masculine energy. You can take care of yourself. You can pay all the bills yourself. You make 6 figures. You're independent. Okay. Congratulations. How is it going to be another year single? How is it? Tell me. How is that working for you? Because I would ask you, are you lonely? Kevin Samuels be joking about pets on here. But, do you want kids? It's just like, I don't think so. These women out here they're not making marriage a priority when they want it. And then they wait until they're like 35 to be like, no, I want to get married. Like, I think that's important. So it's just, it's a little disheartening. Because I really want all couples to win. I love when heterosexual couples get together and they make beautiful families. I love that, you know. I genuinely love weddings and stuff. And so it kind of gets disheartening when you see confused women, and don't get me wrong, there's confused men, but confused women out here not understanding why they can't keep a man. They can attract a man, but they can't keep a man. Well, maybe it's because you're trying to tell the man what to do when that's not really how it's supposed to go. Don't get me wrong. You can have things that you want your man to do, like to help around the house, but like actually telling your man what to do? Come on. Come on. That's why I'm super excited, this is in the near future. And kind of a heads up about what I want to do for this channel, which is read more of the Bible and have somewhat of Bible study. It'll be me mostly reading the Bible. I feel like I'm not ready yet to really go online and interpret the Bible meaning. I think I'm more into just reading the Bible on here and maybe giving my own interpretation and just updating that every time I go through the passage. But point is just like, I think Kevin Samuels was right. Y'all should listen to him. it's a good thing that he showcased his talents on YouTube, and YouTube is essentially a free platform. And you can binge watch all his videos. Matter of fact, go ahead and do that, because I'm pretty sure he was smart enough to have a will to where he gave his money to his family for the YouTube channel. And that's kind of what I would do in that sense. But I guess what I'm saying is I really think that y'all can learn some things about Kevin Samuels, especially in regards of relationships. Regardless if you're a man or a woman. One thing I do want to do more of is see how he talked to the men. But in all honesty, it's no different than how he talked to the women. That's what I was getting at. And then the thing is, men can take his brutal honesty. Women want this soft, delicate approach. No, you need to be told off, really, so it gets through your brain. You need to have that shock factor in that sense, so you can understand that this is not how it's supposed to go, baby. This is why you're still single, baby. This is why you're not married, baby. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But if he's just telling the women, or if he's just approaching the women the same way he approached the men, I don't think there's anything I could learn from watching the men's, since I am a woman. But yeah, I think it's important if you're a man or a woman to watch his shows, or his YouTube shows, his YouTube channel in general. Like, literally go binge watch him, because you'll notice, especially when you do your homework, Kevin Samuels is just right. He's just right. And then also from the female's perspective, you are not a man. So you're not going to have the perspective or the thought process or the mindset of a man to understand men logic and where and why men think a certain way in regards of how they move, like, and what they find attractive, and why they end up getting married to a more feminine woman versus a masculine woman who probably treats them just as good, but she's just more feminine, and she is willing to be submissive, and she is submissive. It's not that you're willing to be submissive after a couple of dates. No, it's that submission. You really shouldn't submit to a man unless you're married to him. But the fact that you show signs that you can be submissive without him asking you to be, kind of already showcases you as a feminine woman. And I think that's just really important, that some women need to get in their brains, regardless of their age. If you want to be in a long-term committed marriage, in I guess I got to say this now, a hetero marriage, then you gotta, as a woman, learn submission. It's because, honey, you trying to be the provider and the mother and the caretaker and the house cleaner and the teacher and the nurse. Like, come on now, you're overworking yourself for too much, for no reason. And another thing that I like about Kevin Samuels is that he'll do like these they're like sounds and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, if one of his interviewees says something along the lines of like a dead man walking, he'll have a dead man walking sound. He'll do the salute, like, that's it. But yeah, it's just so funny because he's serious, and I feel like some of these women will laugh, or they'll laugh to hide their pain, because really they know that it's what they're doing isn't working for them. But they know what they're doing isn't working for them, and they'll laugh to hide their pain when Kevin Samuels points out, yeah, you're wrong, you're dumb, you're physically unattractive. Or he won't say stuff like that. He'll be like, you're an adjustable 6. he really humbles women. And I think a lot of women need to be humbled in this day and age and not realize, like, in a way, yes, you're the prize, but so is the man. The man is also the prize too. And if you think about it, if you find a man who is a provider, a protector, and all those things you would want your man to be, that's a prize. In regards to the woman, that is a prize. So you got to be a prize and he got to be the prize. So you can't just expect to be on this pedestal. Like, relax. Relax. Really. But, nah, I think y'all should watch Kevin Samuels. You'll learn a lot from him. I feel like I'm going to continue to binge watch his shows, learn more, gain a perspective. Because I'm 24. And plus, I want to... I'm not married yet, but when I do get married, I do want to stay married and understand, like, this is, I'm never going to be the woman that, I'm never going to be the woman that is hyper masculine. I already feel as though I'm a feminine woman, and with more money, I can be even more of a feminine woman because in a way I like to do dress up and stuff like that. But it's obviously because of time and stuff, but I just think that that's pretty cool to be. I'm already a woman, so to play with my own femininity, I think it's important. I think every woman should embrace it. And I work a full-time job. It's not no six figures, but I work a full-time job. I'm educated. I have a bachelor's degree, and I'm interested in going to get my master's. But you don't hear me flaunting that in my relationship in regards of, I take care of myself, I do this, I do that. And it's just like, you're not sounding at all attractive or even approachable from a man's perspective. And I'm gonna need you to get real feminine here. Like, let's work on our femininity, please. Por favor. Trabaja. Femininity. I don't know femininity in Spanish yet, but I will be trying to learn Spanish fluently. But regardless, you gotta listen. If you actually pay attention to his videos, he's speaking wisdom. He's speaking wisdom. You're hearing from a man who's speaking from wisdom. And one thing that I do like to hear is wisdom. So I think any and everybody can learn from him. And I'm not going to stop watching his videos unless I watched every single video. But then I might like to watch some reruns in a sense to be like, oh, what did they say in here? Maybe I could use this in my marriage to be like, okay, well, this is how he advised they work on this type of relationship and whatnot. One other thing that they talk about is the dating pool, regardless of the age. They'll talk about dating pools at different ages, but they'll talk about the wall, right? As a woman, there's a wall. For a man, there's really never a wall. I don't think so, unless it's more on finances. But a man will have more money the older he gets. Like, he'll be able to have more money. So, the wall. I believe women hit the wall whenever they have a kid or when they reach a certain age, and I want to say that's like the 35 to 40 range. And they talk about the wall as a decline in age and beauty and all that stuff, and attractiveness, able to pull men, that type of sense. And I really think that is true for women. Some women do not age like fine wine. And then again, some black women, we age, black don't crack, but where that decline goes to, I feel like in regards to black women, I think it's the mentality and the mindset of black women goes on. They have their wall, like the wall. Some women will reach an age where it's just like, I've been taking care of myself all this time. I've had unsuccessful relationship after unsuccessful relationship, but have not done any inner work to really understand why the relationships didn't go right. And it's kind of concerning, because how are you at this big age and you still don't know? You still don't understand how to keep a man. And you try to blame, like, there's no good men out here, or they're intimidated by me, or just stupid stuff like that. I'm just like, girl, sit down, please. Sit down. Go to therapy and binge watch a lot of Kevin Samuels, and then you'll start to understand, oh, so that's the reason. Oh, that makes more sense. That makes more sense, right? And another thing is, like, some of these women will argue with Kevin and not understand why they're wrong. And it's disheartening. So disheartening. I'm trying to remember. I don't really want to talk too much about some of the videos I've watched. I'd rather y'all just go take a listen if you haven't already. Because he just speaks wisdom. And I think because I was already in a relationship when I started watching his content, I don't remember I don't even know when that interview was, but I don't think I was in my committed relationship yet whenever he did the interview with Nicki Minaj. But when I started watching him heavily, I was already in a committed relationship. And some of the things that he pointed out on why women are single, and if he wanted to be specific, he talked about why women in my age are single is because the hot girl, city girls trend, and it's like, you're not even making the time to not be a hot girl or to be a wife. It's like, no, I guess that's basically what I was doing. I was not really taking the time to work on myself and build myself up to be a feminine wife, doing hot girl stuff. Like, no, that's not the move, sweetheart. And that's not going to help you keep a man. It might help you get a man because, you know, that ratchet part might attract people, but it's not going to help you keep a man. And more than likely, that man will not settle down with you. And honestly, all I say is this: there are going to be some outliers. Don't get me wrong. That's statistics. There are always outliers. But in the general public, this is what it goes. When you reach the wall, it gets harder to date. It gets harder and harder to date. It gets harder and harder to find the man that you're saying you want them to make over $200K and have this type of status. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, but you're 38, and it's just like, you're hitting that wall though. How are you going to be able to pull that type of man when there's a 24-year-old who's more feminine than you, who acts more of like a wife than you, doesn't have that age on you, so they're younger than you? In a way, they're more fertile because they have younger eggs. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to get with the program. But I know I'm almost done with my hair, and so I feel like I have been talking about Kevin Samuels quite a bit, but I'm okay with that. But all I can say is watch his content. Really, like, watch his content. And I kind of want to speak about something not relating to his content, but something that applies to his content. If you have seen the interview, or not the interview, if you've seen the talk show, the podcast, whatever it is, Caresha Please, you'll know that in Caresha Please stars Caresha, known as Young Miami and the City Girls. And if you've been keeping up, which I don't even advise y'all to, I don't even know why I'm always into this celebrity stuff right now. I think it's just kind of consumed my life, but I'm working on that. But what I wanted to say is this: her first episode, right? Her first episode of the Caresha Please podcast, talk show, whatever it is, starred Diddy. P. Diddy. Puff Daddy, if you didn't know. And right now, or a couple weeks ago, or basically what's been going on is this: Young Miami is essentially been kind of being spotted as P. Diddy's new, like, side chick. And P. Diddy has, like, a roster of side chicks. And there's this one girl, I don't know her name, I don't care to know her name. um, has been a little jealous because she's been the side chick, I guess the main side chick or whatnot. And yeah, them two have been kind of beefing, more so her, because really Young Miami is an actual, like, you know, entertainer. She's actually has her own stardom. So, you know, the other side chicks who's P Diddy's side chick, she's been going at back and forth with Young Miami, and then Young Miami's responding to her in regards of, I guess, who gets more attention, or who's the main side chick, who's the real woman. And at the end of the day, none of them are claimed. He hasn't claimed any of y'all. None of y'all are his wife. So it's kind of confusing to be like, well, why do y'all even care like that? Like, y'all aren't even his wife. So the fact that you're fighting over a man who's unclaimable is kind of silly to me. And here you are, Caresha. Young Miami, Caresha, please. Here you are, Caresha, on your own. I guess actually P. Diddy paid for it in a way, or like sponsors it. Pays for your talk show, your podcast. And he's the first person you interviewed. And within that interview, you ask him, are you single? Or are you dating or something like that? And he says, I'm single. And like, I think he says I'm actively dating or something like that. Why would you go then and ask, so what are we? Caresha, please. What are we? What are we? What are we? Oh my gosh, Caresha. He couldn't even answer that question. And it just sounded funny. It just sounded like what every F-boy says to a girl who asks, what are we, or where's this going? You just sound silly. Y'all just sounded silly. He just basically outed y'all as like low-key a fling, as a side chick, and you're okay. I feel like you're okay with that because you're like, we're single but we go together. What sense does that make? That's no type of title, no claim. And I don't know if y'all dealt with insurances before, but usually things involve a title, a claim, a deed, a lease, a name on something, signatures. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, what? And then Miss Young Miami proceeds to go on a live and says, I don't know why y'all hoes want me to be married. I just don't want to be married. But then I'm like, well, didn't you ask for him? Maybe not for him specifically, but didn't you say you wanted another child? And I guess my question is, why don't you want that child to have a 2-parent household? And you're just only focused on the financial aspect instead of the actual mental, emotional, spiritual connection type of part of raising a child. Because personally, that's not how I'm speaking from personal views, because I feel like this is just a whole situationship that she's in, and she's just trying to one up the other side chick because she got her own talk show, and the first interviewer or interviewee was the situation. I don't even know. I can't say boyfriend, but was the man you're basically fighting a girl over on social media. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad. And I think the other side chick, she tried to come out with the diss rap. She not a whole rapper. We all know Young Miami, the rapper. And it's just like, what? Do y'all not want peace? Do y'all not crave peace? All this side chick stuff, being okay with situationships, and then also being okay like, oh, we're single but we go together. We're single but we go together. What sense does that make? Caresha, please. Like, this is not it. It's not it. And it's nothing I would promote in regards of relationships or people wanting to have long-term committed relationships. And it's sad all around. All around, I don't promote it. I don't give it an A+. I give Kevin Samuels an A+. I give Modern Women a C-, and I give Lori Harvey a B. But other than that, I think that's pretty much the end of what I'm going to be talking about because I just finished my hair. Looks good, smells good. Put that jojoba oil in it so it can grow. And hopefully we can be back next time where I do a rant and do my hair.